Good evening, everyone. It is now 6 p.m. I am trying my best to start on time for change. Let me just get a little things together here, and I'm doing things. I am multitasking, which is what I do. Everybody does anymore. So this is cool. All right, we're going to start on time tonight because we have hard stops for various people, some of our guests, and we'll get to that in a moment, but we'll go into prayer very quickly. For those that have joined us, thank you so much for coming. Thank you and welcome to PBCIP's October meeting, our community meeting, which we have every month to update all of our constituents and our residents about the things that's going on in our neighborhoods, as well as what's going on in the city, what's going on in the county, the state, and in the nation. We are a nonprofit 501c3. All of our guests are invited guests. No one is being paid for their services this evening, and we thank them so very much for everything that's here. So we want to start with prayer, which is just a prayer just to thank the Most High for just bringing us all together tonight. So Most High, we thank you so much for everything that you have done for us thus far. We thank you for all of the things that you have done and protected us from. We thank you so much for the rains that have come, the winds that have blown, and we thank you for protecting the souls that did not get lost in any of that. We look forward to all of what you're going to bring to us, and we thank you for all of these things as a collective body under your will. In the name of Emmanuel, amen. So I'm still letting people in. Just give me a second. Let's see. Okay, this is working. Very good. Okay, just entered. Great. Hi, Karen. How are you? Okay, so tonight we're going to start I'm going to just give you our guest list so that you know who we are and what's going on. And tonight's guest, we have Commissioner Al Dyer, who is also the acting principal at Camden High School, what's it called? The campus. Yes, I have to remember the campus. We have Councilman Chris Collins of the 2nd Ward. We have tonight's guest is Lauren Oakes. If I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. She's the Vice President of Women and Children's Services at Virtual Health. And we have Karen McAvoy. She is also the lead midwife at Virtua as well. And we're trying to give them some time because Karen is recovering from surgery. So we want to make sure she stays protected. We also have tonight Ms. Ronsha Dickerson, Community Doulas of South Jersey, training supervisor. And we also have Ms. Ariel Streeter, who is the perinatal doula with the Community Doulas of South Jersey as well. I will be your continued information person to give you information about some of the things that's going on. But first, tonight, we would like to welcome Commissioner Dyer, who would like to talk to us about some things that's going on that's in the community, as well as his position as vice principal over at the Camden High School campus. Welcome, Commissioner.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me. How's everyone doing?
Great.
So where we start, I know there was, I wanted to kind of give some updates on what's going on in the schools. And I can talk about some projects that we're working on in the community as it relates to commissioner with me being liaison to public works. But I know there's been a lot of questions in the school regarding some of the stuff that's going on, and it's been trying. I started as acting principal September 17th, and the new staff that I have, both of these, I think is both of the LEs have been there. One has been in the district for 33 years, and one has been there for 16 years. Rebecca Cruz Guy and Cynthia Buffalo. And I said, we hit the ground running. Camden High is a little challenging right now because there's still things in the building that they are working on that can make our job easier. So, every day we leave, we have the contractors coming in and doing additional work to try to get that school completely ready to hold all the students that are there in the building. So we do have some events coming up. We do. And keep in mind, if anybody doesn't know anything about the layout of Camden High, is 4 autonomous schools. You have Big Picture Learning Academy, as well as BRIM, Medical Arts, Creative Arts, and Camden High School. Camden High School has approximately 411 students. Brim has, I think, I want to say 215, and Creative Arts has 210, somewhere around there. And I think BPLA has 127. And every school is autonomous. They have their own principal and their own lead educators. And we share common spaces as it relates to the auditorium and the gymnasium and the cafeteria. Everything else, everybody has in their own wing. And it's a new concept, but it's to right now it's working. And that's, that's about the makeup of Camden High. We have Spirit Week coming up in a few weeks. We have homecoming coming up there. So for me, I always wanted our students to have the high school experience, and having these activities and allow them to have that real high school experience is very important to me. And that's the thing my staff and I are working on, to make sure that we building that trust where we can provide these activities and allow them to have an enjoyable high school experience as well as get a good education. So that's where my staff and myself is at, and that's how I'm running that process as it is right now. And and I go into the commissioner role real quick. When I first came back to Camden High, the school has 2 port of entries on Baird Boulevard. We had no striping, we had no signage, we had nothing. And one of the first things I did as commissioner, I think I made that move the first or second day of I got there, that's a county road. So with that being a county road, and with me being liaison to Public Works for the county as commissioner, I had my guys come out there and put piano striping so our students can cross. We also put signage out there. We put speed. We didn't put no speed bumps, but we put signage on the 25-mile-per-hour school zone. They painted all the way down Baird Boulevard. We put striping down the whole and all the way up into East Camden. They put the 2 yellow lines in, and we did this in a matter of days. And we're waiting now to put the yellow blinking lights across the top. We have to make sure that the school district allows us to do it. I think the mayor is getting us 2 crossing guards, because it was important to me that no kid gets hit on Baird Boulevard. And I'm out there every morning, and I'm gonna say this: 95% of the people that drive down that road in the morning is texting on their phones. And I'm out there every morning greeting our kids, and you see it. It was an accident waiting to happen. So I think we slowed them up to a degree, and people going to still speed down that road. But it was helpful that we put all that signage and the striping on the road to make sure that our kids can be safe. And it's still a work in progress.
Well, Commissioner / acting principal, I see you juggling those hats right now.
Yes.
Totally appreciate the fact that you're thinking outside the box for the sake of the safety of the children as well as the rest of the pedestrians that have to cross in that area, because that is a very, very impacted area where people are driving like crazy and texting. They act like it's just all part of their regular routine, which it is for them, getting back into service and all that kind of stuff. I know you said you had a hard stop, so I wanted to see if there's any Q&A out there. Is there any questions that anyone wants to ask, the commissioner, as the commissioner, or the acting principal for the campus, Camden High? If there's any questions, please raise your hand. I see Ransha Dickerson. Hello, welcome back.
Hey everybody, I'm fresh off the plane from Louisiana, so I'm a little wiped out, but I'm happy to be here with my folks. First, I want to say thank you for hosting this meeting tonight. I'm wearing multiple hats too, but I want to talk to Principal Dyer, ask a couple questions. I first want to say, if folks don't know Principal Dyer's background, he was already an educator at Camden High prior to him becoming principal. I think a lot of people don't know that part, but he was already an educator there. He spent time when we had the CTE programs. Correct me if I'm wrong, Principal Dyer, you were supervisor over CTE program?
I was supervisor once, and I was also director once of CTE, and I was also athletic director. I was also vice principal. I was also the head girls basketball coach at Woodrow Wilson, won the tournament champion 2005. So October 1st was my 25th year in education.
Yeah, I think that's important for us to know that Principal Dyer didn't just pop up and became like, oh, I'm at Camden High now. He put some skin in the game, so he's been there for some time.
Yes.
But I wanted to say that on the record. But I
Mhm.
also wanted to ask. I know there's an issue with the safety, the fights that's going
Mhm.
on in the school, and I guess it's more of a comment, more or a question too. We the
Mhm.
community, we want to know what can we do. We want to offer grade level community town halls. If we can do a balance of that, maybe with you all and the community, and then we know the issue with the football team being suspended because of the fights. That's an
Mhm.
issue ongoing, and we
Mhm.
understand there's some
Right.
statutes that are out there that we can possibly change. And I'm actually asked you to use maybe your county hat and your principal hat. It's a lot to deal with, but I don't think everyone knows about these issues. But I'm
Right.
letting you know from me that I've spoken to several community leaders and parents, and we're all standing waiting for an
Mhm.
opportunity for us to come to the school, be
Okay.
amongst you all, have these great level classroom discussions, because we feel like the issue is internal, and then it
Mhm.
becomes external. So
Mhm.
I'll stop there.
Okay. All right. The address the football issue because that's the hot topic right now. Friday at 10:30 a.m. I'll be traveling with the athletic director and the football coach. We have a hearing at the NJSIA office. I'm actually on the NJSIA executive board. So our attorney is going up with us and we're sitting down to try to hash this out as best as we can. They allowed us that meeting. They granted us that hearing, and which is a good thing. We are prepared. We're going up there with some of the things that we want to discuss. And I'm hoping that things get changed. We can't guarantee it, but the fact that they granted us this hearing, we are prepared. We actually are prepping again tomorrow for the hearing, and I'm hoping and praying that our student athletes get the opportunity to play in the playoffs. But if not, just balance it out. Where if we had to, be suspended or had 4 ejections, Pleasantville definitely should have 4 ejections also. I don't want to see any kid ejected. I don't want to see any kid not be able to play in the playoffs. But I think the what they provided and gave us was uneven. And I think that that's what we're going up there to talk about. The report that was submitted was not accurate, and they already changed. We were told that adamantly that they cannot change anything on that report, but they have changed something on that report. They changed numbers, and which was great, but you cannot change anything on that report. So that gave us a little opening, and that's what one of the things that we're appealing on, the inaccuracy of the report that the officials placed in their hands. And so we I think we have a good hand going in there, so we'll see what happens. And as it relates to everything else, yes, I am welcome to anybody. I have town halls. I had 2 town halls, 4 town halls already with our grade level, 9th and 10th together, and 11th and 12th. We all met with them twice thus far since I've been there. And what I'm finding out, to be honest, is that I'm not a psychologist, but I know something's going on when our 7th graders skipped 2 grades and went right to 9th grade. And I think we're not talking about the psychological aspects of what's going on in our community. And it's not just Camden, it's going on everywhere. And what we're trying to do is really, really relate. I can relate to these kids, someone that was homeless through high school. So I am sitting there just giving them everything I got to try to see what we can do. We had a big issue a couple days ago when the kids wanted to walk out. They wanted to walk out and protest. And I wasn't against that, but I didn't want them to walk out the building. And they listened to me, and I asked them to come in the gymnasium and let's sit down and have like a fireside chat with all our Camden High students. And when I say I wanted to cry because it worked out perfect, I gave them the microphone, sat in the bleachers, and allowed the football players to talk to the student body. You can hear it was so quiet in the gymnasium. That was as quiet it has been since I've been there. So I wish we could have filmed something like that and sent that across the country because it was beautiful. It was peer on peer, and it was probably one of the best moments since I've been in education that I've ever seen, to have 400 and something kids in a gymnasium asking questions, intelligent questions, articulating their questions to each other with no bickering and nothing. And we let them have the whole hour and 20 minutes. It was just beautiful. And I think somebody recorded. I think Sheree Perry recorded it. So if you guys want to see that, you'll see what I'm talking about. This is not me making anything up. I was there. Only ground rules I said, let's be respectable and no cursing. That's all I said. And I handed them the mic and they went from there. And I think it was one of the best moments of me in education. So, but Rancha, whenever you want to sit down and come up and we can kind of put something together on what you want to do. I know everybody's been looking at that. I think it was a TikTok or YouTube. I seen it on CNN when the dads came from Louisiana and they came up and the dads were in the hallway joking. And I think that kind of stuff makes a big difference in our inner city high schools and schools. And so if anything you want to plan to do, if you want to, I can invite you to the next town hall. I don't mind anybody coming speaking. I'm in the building and I'm to be honest, I'm not breaking any policy, but I'm doing it my way. And I'm doing it the way that I want the community to be involved with it. And like Chris Collins, anybody can come up and we can just set something up and just have some conversations, because right now we got to think everything is outside the box right now. Because a lot of the traditional stuff is not working because we're dealing with unprecedented things and we're dealing with psychological issues now. And it's very, very different. So we got to think differently. So anybody, just reach out to me and we can plan something. I have no problem with anybody coming up as long as it's in good taste, it's in good reason, and we feel as a group that it can help. I'm with it.
Well, Commissioner Dyer and Principal, I appreciate that. I am listening to you thinking outside the box. And yes, we will all be coming to you to get some kind of feedback from whatever it is and give you assistance where you need it so that we can help you do what you have to do. You cannot do it alone. So we know you had a hard stop, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. We'll be in touch with you by way of the school, and I got your number, and I can get in touch with you by your office. We'll set up a meeting. We'll get it all together, and we'll all make this thing work for the sake of the children, because that's what it's all about anyway. All right. And
I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. And I want to say this last thing. And I've been there when I first got there September 17th. We had maybe 5 straight fights. There was fights every day in the cafeteria. And the way our bell schedule is set up, there's 3 lunches. So Camden High has the most students, and we're all in that lunch together. So we got to do things differently. But we haven't had, I'm knocking on wood right now, and I don't know if I can knock on my head or whatever I'm knocking on. We haven't had a fight in the cafeteria in 13 straight days.
Okay.
So we're in the hallways, we doing whatever we kind of do. I'm actually reaching out. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but years ago, we used to have resource officers in the building. Melvin Ways, Denise, and it worked well. It didn't have the how do I say that it didn't look like a militaristic situation.
Okay.
These guys was in the cafeteria with us. They were making friends with the student. It was great. I reached out to our new chief. We are in talks of doing this again, having them in the cafeteria, having their own room, just having them in there. And they don't have to be in their Camden Metro Police uniform. These are like partners in the building with us, helping us out. So that's something that I really reached out to try to do, but we don't want it to have that militaristic look. We don't want it to seem like they there trying to wrestle our guys to the ground. You are only there to help us out and to, do things with our kids in the gymnasium, playing basketball, whatever we do, but we just need that presence. And I'm trying to bring the whole community into Camden High, because right now, and I think that's all we got left. We got to get everybody involved. This can't be us
like
hiding.
I said,
yes.
Commissioner, bringing something old back into a new situation where nobody really knows what's going on is probably the best thing that you could do right now. And I think it's going to work out, because like all of us are balanced off of some of the things that you're talking about and helping the children to understand those things. You can see they do want to do the right thing. You had 420 of them around you that did not kill each other.
Right.
Real simple. So all we have to do is just do what we have to do as the adults and be the leadership and let them see that we believe in what you're doing. So do what you need to do, and we'll go on from there. But we're going to move on, and thanking you again so much. I'm so glad you made it. I've been inviting you for the last couple of months, so, but I'm glad you made it. And I'm going to reach out to you. We're going to have a meeting. Rasha's going to reach out to you and some of the neighborhood and everything. And we're going to settle this thing down. And we're going to make this thing smooth out. On the next go around, if you could, give some information on what the COVID situation is that's going on inside the school. There's a lot of breakouts. The children are going through changes. That's also psychological as well as physical. So we need to have that information ready for the next go round. And if you could come back in November, that would be just perfect.
All right, I plan to do that. And good luck to everyone. Everybody have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so very much.
All right,
have a good one.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So we thank Commissioner / Vice Principal Dyer for, joining us last minute. He just showed up and there he was. For the second time, because I wanted the ladies that were talking about midwives, I wanted to get them started unless the councilman has to leave early. I know he's on. So Councilman, is there anything that you have to leave before I actually bring them on, or can you come on after?
Yeah, I do have to run. I have another interview that I have to do, but I
want to bring them on exactly at 6:30. No more than, I guess, 6:30, 6:35, because Karen is recovering from surgery.
I could be very brief. I just want to give some updates, and I don't know where the midwives are from, but we just did a big story on the new midwifery that Virtual had put out.
They're from Virtual.
Okay, well, good. I'm on point. So that story just hit the Anointed News Journal. It aired last night. I just want to update that, first of all, Camden City we met our goal of 70% of the people of Camden getting vaccinated. So that's a good thing for us here in the city. For our Parkside community, we started paving streets. I believe there's 13 streets that are being paved. Not all of them are in our Parkside community, but we did start out with Greenwood. And so hopefully the residents that are on Greenwood are okay with the work that we've done. There's been some buzzing about some people going around with the utility jackets on, checking on the lights and the light outages. Over the weekend, I believe PSE&G, I did follow up with Dr. Walker, Director Walker, Keith Walker for Public Works. PSE&G will be around this weekend with some LED upgrades in the Parkside area. And Hope Works has been contracted by Camden County. They're going to be doing a study on the light outages starting the second week of November. And there's nothing about, I have no updates on the actual, red lights that are out. We had an opportunity to honor one of Camden greats, Ron Itchy Smith, last Friday at Camden High School, named a street after him behind Camden High School. That was a great day for those Camden High alumni and the Parkside community. And the Philadelphia 76ers honored him by giving him a one-day contract to be a 76er for one day. So that was special to the Smith-Wilson family. I do want to constantly thank and remind us to thank Mr. Guy Rozier when we do see him. Guy is I guess he supervises the cleanup detail at Farnham Park and what we call Camden High Park. He's out there continuously. He takes special pride in making sure that that park stays clean. And from edging to keeping the grass cut to cutting back some of the trees. So every time I see Guy Rozier, I like to give him a hug and a special thank you for doing that. We've had a situation, I'll take another 2 or 3 minutes. We had a situation with some homelessness with one of our senior crossing guards on Lansdowne. He was in a house that when I was called by one of the local clergy people, I went to visit the gentleman. He's the crossing guard outside of Bonzo School, but he lives in our community. And the house that he was living in, it didn't have electric. They were wiring it from a generator out back. It was really bad conditions. And just to give an update, I was able to work with Camden County OEO and find him an apartment on Kane Avenue. And we got him down to Cam Care and got him some medical services. So, you know, we got this gentleman on the right road. That's about, we also have Department of Public Works, and I think Sheila, you may speak on this a little later. They're going to be going into all the the alleyways, collecting trash throughout the Parkside community. I know that's been a big issue, from abandoned boats to vehicles and trash. So they starting to move on that this weekend, I believe. Helped out one of our seniors on Langwam. She wants to remain anonymous. We know the family very well. With an alleged drug house, I was able to get Metro involved and to provide some assistance on Langwam Avenue and a little bit more visibility with our Metro Police. So pretty much that's where we at. We do have a big issue with our homeless community on Atlantic Avenue wandering into the neighborhood. We're working on that. It's not an easy situation. Councilwoman Boucher has different views than myself, but together we're trying to work it out, as well as with Pastor Amir Khan and BOA and the Joseph House. We got some real issues there, and it's going to take some time, but we're working on it. Those are my updates.
So I thank you, Councilman Collins. This is, we are calling this going forward. This is the first time we've actually said it, but we are calling this the Collins Second Ward Report, which is when he comes to you and gives you a full report of the second ward and the things that's going on in every sector as he knows it. So if there's things that you know that he doesn't know, please send it to his email address, or just, you know, contact his office and let him know, hey, Councilman, did you know this was happening? Because the more he knows, the more we know. And that helps out everyone. So we appreciate what he does, and we appreciate the fact that he is still providing us with the Anointed News Journal, which is our excellent paper for the city. We also want to thank him for being a part of the PBCIP recipient of the grant that was given to us by American Water this past Monday. Which we are, you know, our awesome foursome was there, which is Councilman Collins, our mayor, the president of the school board, and our assemblyman. They all live in Parkside, so we call them our awesome foursome. So with that being said, we just want to thank you very much for everything that you do. And if there's anything else, if there's any questions to the councilman quickly, because he does have something to do, and we're going to go into our next portion. Any questions?
And thank you. And it's good to see Rancha back with us. And thank you, Jonice Roll, for reminding me that I have not eaten tonight.
That's cute. Everybody's taking care of everybody. That is so cool. To add on to something that Councilman was talking about, he was talking about the lighting. That's a continuation of the lighting project that we started 3 years ago with PSE&G, PBCIP, HopeWorks, and, you know, the county engineering department. So we are looking to get our Parkside lit, well lit, so we can see things. You know, I'm tired of seeing little things run across the street that I can't see. So I want to be able to see things. And also just an update in the same thing, two things. I left a message inside the chat. If you have not had your trash picked up in the last couple of weeks, due to the fact that PSE&G has been on your block, actually doing the connecting work of connecting the gas ground lines to the main line, please put your street, the street number, like if it's the 1100 block of Langham or the 1000 block of Princess, put it in the chat so I know, because I can make a list and give this to Councilman Collins, who will give it to the Department of Public Works, and then they will take care of what it is that has not been picked up. The director told me himself that if Waste Management does not come to pick up the trash, that his people will come out and do it over the weekend. So I need a list. I do have some names, but I don't have enough. So please make sure you put it in the chat. Make sure you can share it with everybody. And if you can't do that, you can always call me at 856-964-0440, extension 13. Leave me the street address and let me know how long the trash has been out there, and they will come and pick it up. Okay? So we thank you, Councilman Collins, for everything. And yeah, go get something to eat, because yeah, you should do that.
Can I
Oh,
ask
one question.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
you go.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to ask, we're looking at the street traffic patterns in Parkside on the main corridors. We need to get the street lines, the painted lines, repainted. It's
Repaint
a
it.
lot of people
Yeah.
who are coming to the city who don't know our traffic pattern. I saw a
Mhm.
really bad accident a week ago. A young lady and a baby in a car who got crushed by one of the utility vehicles coming down Bear Boulevard because they don't know the traffic pattern. So
Mhm.
I like to work with you and Councilman Dyer and Mr. Walker, Director Walker, on trying to like reestablish what those lines are, because we got so much through traffic now. And
Yeah.
the school and
We have our street engineer Orion. Or yeah, that's I'm working on the same thing on 8th Street because the street is so wide. People are using it as 2 lanes, but it's really parking in 1 lane. So we had to get him out there to do the measurements so that Director Walker could paint the lines, and it would be the same. We'll get Orion out there. And Director Walker is his team that will repaint those white lines. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Excellent. So we want to just now move over into our next segment, which is what we were talking about, our health segment. And our health segment is talking about, the fact that, birth is one of the most important things that happens in life. It's the first thing that happens that lets life start. And tonight we have Ms. Lauren Oakes and Ms. Karen McAvoy from Virtua. Lauren is the VP of Women's and Children's Services for Virtua Health. And they will talk to us tonight about midwifery, which is the word. Now, we want you to understand, we have doulas on tonight, and I welcome all the doulas that are here because I see them. And I also welcome, those that know things about the midwifery. But the difference is Karen and Lauren are going to explain to you the differences between the doula and the midwife, so that you don't get it where they're at odds with each other. This is a working combination. Together, they are the reason why life is the way it is. Doctors don't do all the work. The midwives are the part of the reason why we're here. So Karen, are you there?
Okay, I
There
just
she is.
unmuted.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi, Sheila. Thanks for
Hi,
having
Karen.
us.
Oh, how are you feeling?
I'm hanging in there. I have a little bit of an arm issue,
Oh, poor
but we're doing
baby.
okay.
So if you want to start off like maybe just explaining to them what a midwife is exactly, so
Sure.
that we get an understanding of that. And we're just going to take the short versions of everything because it's going to be recorded. They can come back and look at it later.
Okay. Do you want us to show our slides, or you want us to just talk?
Yes, that's fine.
We could do that. That way it might be more clear.
Let me
Yeah,
make
and I can try to share my screen if that would be helpful, Sheila, or
I'm going to make both of you a co-host so you can go in and do whatever you need to do.
okay, thank
That way
you.
I don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
There you go. Everybody's happy.
Yay.
Okay, I'm going to try to share the screen and show the slides, and I'll advance them for Karen. And I just also wanted to express our thanks for the time on your agenda today. This is certainly appears to be an extraordinarily engaged group, and we're really thankful to have the time on the agenda to talk about what Virtua is trying to do in terms of bringing midwifery to Camden, and of course partnering with the doulas. So I'm going to attempt to share the screen and turn it over to Karen. Karen McAvoy Shields is our administrative and clinical director of the Midwifery Birth and Wellness Center, and most importantly is our lead midwife for midwifery at Virtua. So she is the expert, and I will zoom off here and get our slides up.
Thanks, Lauren.
Hopefully. Okay.
If not, I can just
Yes.
chat, but we'll see.
All right. Are we good?
Yeah. Can you just
Great.
show the first slide or
You bet.
the one slide?
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see like the small slides on the left and then the main slide.
Okay,
I don't know if you can start the slideshow maybe.
I did that.
Okay.
Can we work from what we have,
No,
or?
absolutely. Just go to
I'm
the
looking
next
at a full
slide.
screen. Okay.
Okay, I don't see this full screen for me, but that's okay. Just if you want to just advance the slide, that would be great.
Okay, do you see Camden Midwifery, independent midwifery practice model?
No.
Okay.
But you know what? I can actually just talk.
How about now?
I just still see the same thing. Sheila, do you see? What do you see?
I'll speak. I see the same thing. I just see the virtual women's services and virtual Camden midwifery practice. The first slide is a
Yeah.
So do I. I see the same.
Okay. We'll give it one more try, Lauren, and if not, I'll just talk.
All right, I'm looking at a full slide on my screen. I'm sorry. Is
That's
it any
okay.
different?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
I'm just going to talk. How's that? Is everybody okay with that? I would like to try to figure out if I could find a picture of the birth center, but okay. So I guess we can just kind of drop the PowerPoint and I'm just going to talk. Hi, everyone. So I am a certified nurse midwife for about 25 years. I started my career actually in Bridgeton, New Jersey, with back in the day when we caught babies there. And I used to bring my high-risk patients to Lourdes because we were just a community hospital. So I have this affinity for Camden and Our Lady of Lourdes. I just, to be honest, having a midwifery practice in Camden is a huge dream come true for me. I have always been part of a midwifery-led practice or have built midwifery-led practices throughout my career. So I came to Virtua 4 years ago, starting a midwifery-led practice in Sicklerville and now in Voorhees and soon to be Camden. The thing that is different about midwifery care versus traditional OB care or traditional clinic care is that the amount of time that we get to spend with people that come to us for prenatal care, for gynecological exams, for contraceptive counseling, for breastfeeding issues, the whole we really do take care of women from adolescence to, we had a new patient last week that was 95 that came to see us for her annual exam, and she was amazing. She was really fabulous. So we really do. I just want you to know that we're not just about all babies, but that we do really take care of all ages and really any kind of need that would come about, whether it's gynecologic or related to pregnancy and birth. So the office in Camden is going to open on December 2nd, and it will be located at 1000 Atlantic Avenue in Camden on the Virtua Camden campus. And temporarily, we're going to be in Suite 205. Hopefully early January, we're in the process of renovating a suite that's going to be amazing when it's done, but it probably won't be done until January of 2022, but at least it's in the same building, and then we can direct everyone to the new space. So again, the thing that really makes me happy about bringing midwifery-led care to Camden is the amount of time that we'll be able to spend. So our initial prenatal visits are an hour long. So we spend, and the first visit, we don't do the physical exam. We do listen to the baby if the pregnancy is advanced enough for us to hear the baby with the Doppler. But most of that time is getting to know each other and teaching and nutritional counseling and a lot of education and really finding out where is she and that family about the pregnancy, like where are they? So we want to meet them where they are and really develop a plan of care that encompasses the entire family. And not what we need them to do, but what do they actually need? So it's really a working relationship the entire through the entire process. So there's that hour exam for the initial prenatal. And then after that, every visit is a half an hour. And that's face-to-face with the midwife. And then at postpartum, we always see birthing people 2 weeks after they've had their baby and 6 weeks after. So that 2 weeks visit is really important about picking up the early stages of postpartum depression. It's a time where lots of birthing people have problems with breastfeeding and are kind of on the verge to give up, but we're, there to support them and help them make it over that kind of little hump, and then things go much smoother after that. And then again at 6 weeks, and at both visits we talked about contraception, and we do a physical exam as needed. So it's really continuity of care. And again, and then after they have the baby, they can come back to us for birth control or annual exams, pap smears, mammograms, breast exams, the really pretty much the whole gamut of women's health. I'm just really, excited that the doulas are here as well. There is a difference between midwifery and doula. We love doulas and we love to work with them because they really are there to support the birthing person and the family, the birthing partner. We are really focused on the birthing person. We try to get the support people involved in support. We specialize in physiologic birth, which is birth without medication and without epidurals. That is what our practice, really focuses on. Not that we wouldn't provide an epidural if that was medically needed or that was something that, they had desired from the beginning. But really the midwifery-led care practice really does focus on physiologic birth and movement and letting your body kind of do what it's supposed to do and what it innately knows how to do. Our bodies know how to birth babies, and we're really there to support that process. So anytime we have a doula, we're very excited because we really do work together to get that birthing person to the point where she is really, she's in charge. This is her body, this is her birth, and we're there to support her. So it's really great to have that extra support. And we're focused on the more medical aspects, is her blood pressure okay? Is the fluid clear? Is, all these other things where the doula can really concentrate on giving hands-on support to the birthing person and to the partner as well. And I'll let the doulas explain a little bit more as well, but that's just my quick take on the difference between doulas. And the other thing I have to say that I'm really excited about is the community doulas. I am on the board of the Southern New Jersey Perinatal Co-op and FHI. So that program is near and dear to my heart. And anyone that comes to our practice now that is hopefully soon to be delivering at the birth center, we are open. And virtual Voorhees, I always see, do you live in Camden City? And if you do, here's this flyer, and you can have a doula, that is provided for you. So it's really worked out great. We've had numerous experiences with the community doulas, and we absolutely love them. All right, let's see. So I'm not sure the audience, did mostly everyone there know about what midwives do and who we are? Does anyone have a specific question about that before I don't want to go through all this, like our model of care is really, like I said, that we feel birth is is really a natural part of life, not a condition to be treated, not something that, that the birthing person doesn't have control over. Like we really truly use shared decision making. That is something that now is a kind of a buzzword, but midwives have been doing shared decision making since since the first day of time. We have always, this is medical decisions or decisions during pregnancy or GYN care. That's a decision that's made together. This is not, the midwife doesn't dictate, to the person in front of her what the plan is. We come up with a plan together. And I think that's really important. And we listen, that's our our best feature is that we listen to what birthing people and women are telling us, like what are their concerns, like what are their whole concerns, not just the baby, but how is their nutritional status? Are they able to buy food? Do they have, is their electric on? Is there an abusive situation in the house? There's lots and lots of questions and assessments that we do to make sure that they are safe and that they are able to, continue to care for themselves and their family. So the Camden office, the people that go there will mostly deliver at Our Lady of Lourdes in Camden, and they are set with the laborist model, which includes midwives. So Virtua has really done something extraordinary, and I've been really happy to be a part of it. And that is we now have midwife laborists on all campuses. So that has really helped lower our overall C-section rate in all campuses. And it really has, most women, birthing people that do come to the hospital to birth are able to deliver or birth their babies with a midwife. And so it's really been a really great collaborative practice with physicians and midwives and neonatologists and pediatricians. We all work together to have that safest and most satisfying birth experience, because that's really important, is how do you feel? That's the most, like Sheila, you said, like birth is just so important in your life, and that experience you carry with you for the rest of your life. And if that is a satisfying, empowering experience, it helps you to be a better parent. I truly believe that. And so that's what we want to really try to do, is really help that family, be strong. There are lots of studies and, that show that midwives are safe and actually have better outcomes than care that's delivered by physicians only, or even physicians and midwives. So midwifery-led care really does have significantly better outcomes in preterm births, in operative deliveries, less epidurals, less episiotomies. And I think it's because that relationship that forms between the women and birthing people that come to us, it's just really, I kind of feel like it's a family. Like we really do care about each other, and it's just a really personal experience. And the thing that is, again, I know I talk about the time that we spend with each woman, but I think that's so important. It really has always upset me when a lot of the clinics schedule 12 people at the same time for the same slot, and that makes me crazy. And I've said this for a million years, like, how can we expect women, birthing people, to feel empowered and take charge of their healthcare when and they wonder why they don't show for their appointments, So I just feel like this is a respectful place where people can come and be heard and be cared for and be a huge part of their own care. So I think the other exciting thing is that we just opened our freestanding birth center, and that is in Voorhees, on the Voorhees Camden campus. It's off of Route 73. We will be the first birth center that will accept Medicaid insurance. Unfortunately, we're finding out that that's a very long process to be accepted into Medicaid. So we probably will not be actually able to do that for another 6 months, perhaps longer, but we're very excited that we will be able to do that. We will also be offering that same, the ability to birth at the birth center for the birthing people that come to the Camden office. If they so desire to have a birth center-like experience, it is discharge within about 6 to 8 hours after birth. We do offer water birth. It is physiologic birth. There is no pain medication. It's all natural pain relief, walking and birthing balls and tubs and showers. And we have something called an gym where you can kind of hang your belly or use it to squat with. So we have lots of, equipment to help with natural birth. But if birthing people that come to the Camden office, if they meet the low risk requirements, then we welcome them there. And we will also be doing group prenatal care, hopefully once COVID gets a little bit better. So group prenatal care will be offered at the birth center and at the Camden site. So we're pretty excited about that as well. We will
Karen,
also
would
have,
you, I'm sorry, would you like
no,
to take
go.
some questions at
I
this
would
time?
love to take some questions. Yes, please.
Okay, if there's anyone out there that has questions regarding the midwife experience, if you've been a midwife before, you know about being a midwife, or you just want to know more about what Karen is talking about, we have a couple of minutes where we can just ask a couple of questions. Even the doulas, if they want to ask questions at this point. I mean, you guys are a team, but it's two different teams, but two different segments of the team anyway. So if there's any questions, please raise your hand in the chat and I will address you accordingly. If not, because I can't see everybody on the screen because the screen is kind of weird right now, but I can see you in the chat and I'm looking to see if there's anybody there. Let me see, hands raised. Okay, I
can offer a comment, but I spoke a couple times. So I didn't want to hog the space. Like, kind of everybody's space.
Go right ahead.
No, I just, midwife Karen and Lauren, thank you. Everything you saying, it just, my heart is so full of joy. Just here in the birthing center, it's just making me feel like we're finally getting there. Like, these are everything that you're saying. I think as relates to the Black maternal and infant mortality, I think that's the piece that we're not taught. Everyone's not understanding that we're watching Black women die. We're watching
Yes,
women,
yes.
on tables and babies die, and this.
And especially in New Jersey,
The rate is
Black women are 7 times more likely to die in childbirth than white women, and that is insane.
That's insane.
And that's what is really exciting about the midwifery-led care and the birth center, because we have statistics that show that those horrible statistics are improved when it's in that kind of a setting. But we're 47th in the United States, out of 50. That's not very good.
That's not a good number, not at all.
No, and Black babies are 3 times more likely to die than white babies in the first year. So this is just, as well, it's just horrible. So I hope that, our mission really is to make an impact in that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can. So
yeah, I'm more than excited. I got my other coach, my doula on Ariel. We're just like, I can see her in the background, like, writing notes, like, okay, because our goal is to partner. That's the goal. And I think you laid it out clear. Like, it's not a competition. It's
no.
Have a space in the care. We're a part of the care team. We all have a space in the care team. And and I love the fact that you created the space to talk about the time that's spent. You're right. I experienced that. That's why I became a doula. Every 12 women, same appointment time. How are you going to get what you need answered? How are you going to get the care that you need from the OBGYN? You know what I mean? These are critical things that make women say, I feel valued or I feel devalued. I'm never going back. And then we go through the issues of she didn't get the proper treatment. Now we're going through something else because of that, right? So I just wanted to thank you and applaud you because we can talk shop all day long. So I want to create an opportunity for us to set up time with you all as community doulas. To really
absolutely. That would be great.
So it seems to me that because of the fact that this is a very nice lock between the doulas and the midwives, and our doulas are coming up next right behind you, that this is an opportunity for a lot of the young mothers, mothers to be and everything, to get this knowledge. And for as much as we can help Virtua get this word out, we have Center for Family Services on with us tonight as well. So to get all of us together to get this information out into the masses so that people will know that you do not have to go through this alone. You do not have to, suffer in silence. You do not have to not have the needs that should be what is all mothers deserve. Okay. Children should not have to suffer because of the fact that the mother had to suffer. So with that being said, and having a brand new facility come in, on 1000 Atlantic Avenue, currently Suite 205, on the 2nd of December. We are looking forward to, you guys lining up and making your appointments and going in for that 1-hour consultation where you can have the opportunity to, spread it all out, get it all out. There's a lot more to pregnancy than just the baby. It's a lot more to it. Okay. I can attest to it. I'm a mother of 3. My daughter, who is Ransha Dickinson, is a mother of 6.
Oh, that's your daughter.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's lovely.
So, and a grandmother of 2, I'm a grandmother of currently, I think I'm at 17. I think that's the number. I don't know, 16 or 17. But the whole point of the matter is that, that's important that we make sure we have this knowledge out there. So Karen, through Lauren, if you guys can share through emails with me, and I'll share it with Ransha, you guys will share it with her. We'll get it out there to everybody so that everybody can know, because once we all know the same thing, we can do so much better. We're all support teams for each other. So Karen, I thank you with everything that there is. I'm so appreciating the fact that you showed up with the surgery situation, okay? Because I know what it feels like. But you still, your presentation was awesome, a lot of information and everything. And we still want to know more. So sometime or another, I think maybe in bringing you guys back in March, maybe of 2022, we'll go on from there. The thing will be open.
And I can bring Sheila. Sheila is going to be our full-time midwife at that site. She comes from Trenton. She's been practicing in Trenton for a long time. So yes, we'll definitely come back. I'll bring Sheila. We can ask, answer questions. Maybe we can do a community event or something just to let, people know that we're there and we're there for them.
For all of the mothers that are on, all of the females that are on tonight, inside the chat, Lauren left her email address, and that's how you can get in touch with her for if there's any other information you need. But take the information that you do get from virtual currently and take it out there into the world and stay right where you are, because right behind this is the segment of the South Jersey doulas.
That's great.
We thank Karen so much.
Thank you so much. I just want to say one more thing. If you want to go to virtua.org.
Yes.
And then if you do the Midwifery Birth and Wellness Center, you can see a tour. You can see the other midwives in the Sicklerville, Voorhees office, just share about midwifery and about what Virtua Midwifery is all about.
Excellent. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen.
I'm going to keep you on so I can hear the doulas.
Okay,
and I'll stay as long as my arm lets me.
Okay. All right. We have information inside the chat. Karen's email is inside the chat. Lauren's email is inside the chat. The community doulas of South Jersey information is inside the chat. So if you go inside the chat, you should see it on everyone. Just write it down. And if you miss it this time, we are always recording. So we are on www.pbcip.org. You look under our meetings, you will find this meeting under October 27th, and you can still get the same information there as well. With that being said, we're going to segue over, thanking Karen and Lauren.
Thank you so much
for being our guest this evening. Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you a lot. We're going to segue over now to our community doulas of South Jersey. I'm going to introduce first the perinatal doula certified, Miss Ariel Streeter, who is a mother of three. She is let me just read my own notes here. She is a South Carolina native, and she's a holistic nutrition advisor, which is a very good thing for any doula to have. And with her tonight is the community doula supervising trainer, Ransha Dickerson, who is the mother of 6, grandmother of 2. She comes with a lot of experience. So with that being said, I would like to open up and just letting you guys know that Ransha is just flying in from Louisiana. She just landed like about maybe a half hour ago. She was out there for 3 days to assist the people of Louisiana with needed supplies due to the hurricane that had happened, I think a month or so ago, Ransha, if I'm not mistaken, that they are still struggling through with not enough supplies. They don't have enough personal supplies, water, they're without electricity. It's a whole lot of wrong that's going on in Louisiana right now. And, she's from New Jersey flying out there, on behalf of a Chicago-based organization that will not see those in need go without. So she's going to talk to us about the doulas, and then maybe at the end, she can give us a little bit of information or put something in the chat where we can assist with her secondary, her other hat, which is Journey for Justice, with some of the people that are going through, the need of supplies and other things that they may need from, us that we don't have as a problem right now. So I want to introduce to you Ransha Dickerson, and then she's going to introduce Ariel Streeter, and you guys do it the way you want to. Welcome home, baby.
Thank you, Mom. my mother. I love her. Okay, so we'll be strong. We'll be strong but impactful. First, thanks to the midwives and thanks to Virtua. We appreciate y'all. Can't wait to really build this out. That's always been the goal. We do work together and we build better outcomes for everybody. I just want to thank everybody. As you can see, community doula work is not about birth. It's about being involved in all the pieces in your community, and that's what we do. You got to ask the principals of school question because a lot of our clients have children in those schools. You got to ask the councilman questions because a lot of our clients want to ask questions about where does my trash go. These are all things that can be impactful in being pregnant, having a family that lives in an impoverished city or a city that may not have all the things it needs, that you can see the inequities clear. So, as my mom said, my name is Rancha Dickerside. I am trainer and supervisor and administrator for Community Doula South Jersey. Quick story about us. I've been a doula for about 20 years. I've been doing uncertified doula work for my community, helping women go through birth and all the process. And then I became a mother of 6 and helped, went through my process, which led me to become a doula. Actually, I think my mom was my doula inside my birth room for my first baby. That was a different experience. However, that's how it is. I want everyone to know that there is a certified side of doulaing, but doulaing comes from organically from our community. You had women who were helping women deliver babies and grandmoms and abuelas, and everybody was helping, aunties were helping with the process because we all were experienced in the birthing process. So now it has some certification behind it, and it doesn't mean that you have to be certified to be a doula. You can still do doula work, but we in Community Doula South Jersey are helping women to become certified, to go through the training process so you can learn the medical terms and know what certain things mean and be able to understand the process and be able to be clear on the track you're on. So we started off as a pilot program in Camden under the First Lady of New Jersey, Tammy Murphy's Nurture New Jersey initiative. That started back in 2018. And it was a pilot program where it was to train Black women or women of color to become doulas in their cities. So it was 4 cities that were involved: Newark, New Jersey, who again, as midwife Karen said, 7 times higher that Black women are dying during birth, 3 times higher that Black children are dying after their first year, or at least between the first year of birth. These are real stats. So New Jersey ranked 47th in the country as the leading in Black women and Black children dying, and we also had a very high C-section rate in New Jersey. It's a very high C-section rate in the cities that we're talking about. So Newark, Trenton, Camden, and Atlantic City were the 4 cities that were listed in a pilot program. This pilot program lasted for 3 years, and we were able to train 2 cohorts of about 12 to 20 women that became certified doulas under the program. And those women learned breastfeeding, peer counseling, sexual education, childbirth education, and they also became certified doulas, perinatal doula education. So they learned 4 tracks under this model called Uzazi Village Model. Now, Uzazi Village Model, there's many models of way to train doulas. You have CAPPA, that's CAPPA. You have DONA, and then you have Uzazi Village, and then you have other training models that are out there. We train our doulas under the Uzazi Village model because it was connected and centered around African American and women of color to be able to relate to the women they'll be serving in their communities. So the training that we got is a full spectrum kind of training where our doulas get every piece of learning how to be supportive to the birthing family, the birthing person, and the birthing mother. And you hear us use birthing person and birthing mother as a way to give respect to people's gender pronouns and how they identify. So with all that being said, we trained from the pilot program. We were able to train the 2 cohorts, and during the pilot program ended, we were in the pilot program. We were able to identify 2 trainers. That's myself and Jody Green. I'm sure that Lauren and Karen may have worked with Jody before. She does a lot of work over in Virtua. We became trainers under the Uzazi Village model of care and able to train more doulas. So now, moving past the pilot program, we still do work with our doulas. We still train more doulas, and we are still doing like a professional development, or we call practicum time, to keep our doulas sharp and keeping them engaged and building this new network of doulas that are certified throughout New Jersey. So most of them are, it's a network of Black and brown doulas who are in the New Jersey area, who are willing to, even during COVID, still do the work of working with families in this time that families don't want to birth alone or may be petrified to have a baby because of COVID. So doulas come in and we are supportive to that space. So what is a doula? I want to frame it, and I'm gonna take a step back and give Ariel some time to talk. We wanted to show a video and a small video. I'm going to cut the video. Mom, could you give me access to share? Oh, I got it. No, I don't need you. I got it. And then I wanted to talk about our website, and then we can talk about I'll let Ariel talk about her experience of being a doula. So I'm trying to make sure I got my notes. At this point, we have trained over 100 Black and Latino women in New Jersey, in person or virtually. We have served over 300 families, birthing families. We have expanded our services to all of South Jersey now. So we're not a pilot program anymore. We're now expanded through South Jersey, where we are offering doula support and also trainings. And we are now a community-based doula servicing and training organization. We're no longer a program. We expand to be an organization on our way to becoming an agency. So in our scope of practice, what do? We are not medically trained to do any type of medical procedures on our clients. We don't call our clients patients because we're working with them as a service to them. Doulas are a birth supporter. We do not replace the spouse, the partner, or whoever the second person that's inside of the birthing places. We are there to support the overall family to make sure that we get the best birth outcome and the birthing plan, if all is going in that direction, to be exactly what the birthing family is asking for. And we value the voices of our clients. Too often we find in this doula work that when Black and brown women speak about their pain, about their frustration, about what they're going through, they're not valued in a sense of it's taken seriously. So in community doulas in South Jersey, we are very clear that when a woman is saying she's hurting, a woman is saying that she needs something, a woman is saying that she cannot express herself because she feels a certain kind of way, our job is to make sure that we're listening. The same way that midwife Karen said, sometimes you just got to listen and hear the story. You got to let them talk for an hour. Good. Let's get it all out, because all that opens up doors for us to be able to get to the root of a healthier pregnancy and a healthier birth and healthier outcomes, and building a trust that is missing sometimes in our community. So I want to share a quick video with everybody about, just so you can see what doula work looks like. And then it's a quick 2-minute video. And then once I share this, I'll open up the floor for Ariel to talk about her experience. And I'm gonna get this right. Okay, where did it go? I got it. Here it go. All right, here we go. I tell you, as long as I'm on Zoom, I can do all things. But as soon as I have to share something, I feel like I lose my mind. All right, I got that. So I have to share sound and share this and
And there you go. Good.
Okay, you can see it. All right, here we go. This is about 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm on my way now. There was always something about like being called for a birth, and you're just like, you just get a jolt of energy. It's gonna be a baby day. Good. My name is Regina Maria Conceição, and I'm a doula. I've been a doula for 17 years now. It's so crucial for women to be supported by other women. Women are not supposed to be by themselves when they're pregnant. They're not supposed to be by themselves when they're in labor. And they're definitely not supposed to be by themselves in the postpartum period.
I chose a doula because this is our first full-term pregnancy, and I wanted to be educated on things that I have no idea about. I think the more that I know beforehand, the better I will be able to take in the pain.
You're 38 weeks and 2 days.
Yep.
So you could go any day now. Because birth is so personal and intimate, you really want to be with a client that you really get. And you want the client to feel that. It's like back and forth.
I'm all into energy, and so is my husband. And when we met Regina, it was a lot of spiritual connection.
And I'll remind you, like with each contraction, you're getting closer to see your baby.
She's a good person to have by your side, or have by your significance other side as they're going through something new.
The advocacy that I want in the hospital, and why I think it's important to have a doula, is that I just don't know. I've never gone through this experience before. My doula, that's her place, and she'll really help me understand and make an informed decision. It was important for me to have African American doula because I wanted someone who shared the same experiences.
Just simply being a woman of color, specifically a Black woman, born in the United States, that's putting you at risk when you're pregnant.
This is my first baby. I lost a baby at the beginning of this year. My miscarriage made me realize that it could happen anytime and that we need to be emotionally prepared for it to happen.
After that, it was somewhat of a wake-up call on what we need to do for each other and something new.
The advocacy that I want
I'm so sorry.
to share the same experiences.
Hi, y'all.
When you're pregnant.
Sorry about that.
This is my first baby. I lost a baby at the beginning of this year. My miscarriage made me realize that it could happen anytime and that we need to be emotionally prepared for it to happen.
After that, it was somewhat of a wake-up call on what we need to do for each other and to each other, and voila.
All right, so I'll stop it there. I thought that was a good place to stop it at. So you can see the family's involvement together. We always think that's a good video to give everyone an idea of what doula work looks like. So that video was just an idea. She's not one of our doulas. She's a doula that's showing the work that she does, but this is an idea of the work that we do. Home visits, we do 3 levels of care for our clients and community work. So we're a resource to our clients. We do 3 prenatal visits,
prenatal,
and then 2 postpartum visits. That's a good way to segue into Errol. She's an active doula right now for Community Doula South Jersey. She does community doula work and private practice work, and Area has 2 sides that she operates on. So I'll pass the mic to her, and then we'll come back and round it out in the next couple of minutes.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Ariel Streeter, and they've already told you a little bit about me. I'm also a mom of 3. I had the privilege of having doula Ransha at one of my births. So I am definitely elated to step in and do what I can in the realm. Initially, my area of expertise is nutrition and plant-based nutrition specifically. And I just thought to myself, the initial time when a child is, taking anything in and growing and developing is when they're in their mother's bellies, right? So I'm thinking, this is a very important time, building blocks, growing, brain development, development of the nervous system, all these different things. So here we are in doula land, right? So I do a lot of nutrition focus with my clients. But through Uzazi training and learning from Ms. Ransha and Jody, we've all taken more of a holistic approach to what we do in general. So looking at mental wellness, physical, and even spiritual in some cases. And a lot of the, like it's been mentioned before, we get to take a lot of time with our clients. And I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, you're stuck with me forever, because the things that you go through and the things that they talk to you about, they don't always get that privilege of speaking with someone that maybe can identify with what they're dealing with, or just even feeling comfortable enough to discuss certain things. So we're glad to be able to fill that in. I had a couple of birthing experiences before I became a doula with other people. So I was a doula, prior to certification. And one of those experiences was very triggering for me. And it's what, helped drive it home for me. I said, we have to be in this space. We have to lower the C-section rate. We have to lower this maternal fetal mortality rate. And it's a must. There's no option for us. So the person that I actually help through that birth situation. She's a doula as well. So, you know, we're taking it on step by step, day by day. And I'm seeing improvements. I think, you know, like I'm in touch with pretty much all of the mothers that I've ever come in contact with. They still text me, they send photos, all these different things. And it's a really good space to be in. It's great when you can work with other professionals, such as midwives, and that everybody understands the roles, and everybody just kind of fills in the gaps, you know. And it's not for us, it's for these mothers, it's for the children, it's for the families. And of course we benefit from it and as a whole, but I think it's necessary work, and it's a revolutionary work. So I'm glad to be able to do it. And I don't know if we were opening for questions at all, but
It's fine. I'll share. People can ask questions. I'll share our website. I'll put it up here so people can actually see it. Thank you, Ariel. Ariel's
yes.
amazing doula. She's being very humble. She's an amazing doula, and we have doulas right here in Camden City. When I was a doula, when I got certified doulas, only 2 doulas, and then the third one I met, and that's what made me start this work. I was doing doula work. We had a group called NIMBA, Nurturing Infants,
Mm-hmm.
Mothers, Babies, and
Yeah.
Families. And we kind of built this community of Black women and brown women, creating a space where we're talking about where's our birthing classes and our space that we can talk about breathing and childbirth
Mm-hmm.
and how to maintain healthy diet and what's happening in the hospitals, and how, you know, we were able to talk about those things openly. It was a small knit group, but now it's
Right.
grown to be this, where we have
Yeah.
Black women coming into hospitals and knowing medical terms, being able to communicate
Mm-hmm.
with the medical staff in a loving and partnering way, but also being there to uplift the needs of our clients and make sure they have the best outcomes. As you know, because that the value, when I just name a couple people, Beyonce told a story about how she almost died when she was giving birth. She's a
Mm-hmm.
Serena Williams told a story about
Serena. Yeah.
she almost died at birth. She's a megastar. Like, it's important that we have to uplift that Black women don't feel value in a hospital. When we say something is
Mm-hmm.
wrong, it's like, oh, you'll be fine. That's not a just a statement. We've seen it happen constantly again. Or if a Black male is coming to the hospital to support his wife, he's being looked as a threat in hospitals. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
wrong and racist policies that are in hospitals at times. That's the reason why doula work is more than just being there for the birth, but being there for the best outcomes. You won't see the father arrested because he feels like his wife was being mistreated and she's going through labor and delivery. These are things that we
Mm-hmm.
need to talk about. These are things we don't want to talk about that affect outcomes, birthing outcomes in
It's
our
reality.
that we live in.
Yeah.
That we live in. So I'll open up
Right.
for questions. I'll share the website, and I'll share that link to that video. I didn't want to play the whole thing. It's about 8 minutes, but it's a good video to watch
Mm-hmm.
about if you want to know more about what doula work looks like. It looks just like that, coming into people's homes. Even during COVID, we're keeping
Yeah.
ourselves COVID free, quarantining ourselves. Some of our doulas have gotten vaccinations, some have chosen whatever their choice is, but we're taking it serious about being around uh, the specialness and the sacredness of pregnant people. It's very special. It's very
Mm-hmm.
sacred. So home visits are important. Meeting clients where they are is very important, and being able to visit clients in the hospital with them to be able to help them walk through the questions. They may not want to ask every question in the hospital. They may need some support. We don't take blood pressure. No medical work. We are here to support and be able to be a resource to our clients. So I'll pause for any questions or Ariel anything.
So audience, if seeing that we're doing this back to back, and I know to the gentlemen that are on, this is something that you should really pay attention to, because this is what we do. We give birth. We do this. So you guys don't get this part, but you will get a lot of understanding about what it is that can help through the birthing process. So if there's any questions out there by any men or any women who would like to ask the doulas, about the process and what they go through, as we had, with Karen on earlier about what a midwife is, this is not a new thing. This has gone back from the beginning of time. Like, nobody knew what to do when that first baby was coming out of that first person, whoever that may have been. Now we go and we use the Adam and Eve story. Okay, God was there. We don't need to talk about it no more. However, on the next go round, when it was time for babies to be born, things changed. So somebody had to be there. And I learned about midwives and doulas at the same time. And I thought they were the same person. And I come to find out that they were not. And I was watching a documentary about, African women who give birth. Okay, that's what the documentary was about. And the next thing I saw was um, women that were out in the field. They were cutting great big things of cabbage leaves, or I don't know what kind of leaves they were. They were bigger than us. And they were out there cutting them. And the woman was pregnant. It showed you her pregnancy. You know, they were following her. And then all of a sudden, everything's paused. And she was panting. Okay. And she was pushing and pushing and panting and pushing. These women came from out of nowhere. They were all in the fields. You couldn't even see them. They were all in the fields. And then out of nowhere, they kind of, their heads just popped up, you know, like, you know, prairie dogs or something. And they were just all of a sudden all around her, and they ushered her into the hut. You know, they knew it was time. So they ushered her into the hut, and they went in, and the same leaves that they were cutting, they came in, there was a hole that was dug there, and they put the leaves all over top of the hole. And they put her over the hole, standing up, straddled legs, like her legs was as far apart from her as she could possibly get them. And they went through the motions of some kind of chant they were doing that was kind of like a musical thing to keep her in rhythm. And whatever it was, as she was in rhythm, then whatever she get to a certain point, she would push and she would push, and it kept doing it over and over again. And the next thing you know, the baby came down into the leaves. They wrapped the baby up in the leaves. Okay, washed it off, wrapped it up in the leaves, gave it to the mom. They wrapped her up in the cloth. The mother got cleaned up by the doulas, the midwives, and she went back to work just like that. So that's the thing that intrigued me. And when my daughter came to me and said the word doula, I was like, okay, I understand this, because like watching a child be born is one of the most miraculous things that there is in life. It really is. You are watching life happen at the same time that death could happen, at the exact same time. It's like they're that close to each other. So I don't want to keep talking. I'm just a fan of the whole thing. Not a fan, but I'm just intrigued by the whole thing, because it's the miracle of life. It's the miracle of everything that we do. I appreciate Ariel because of the fact that, you know, she is looking at the nutritional side of it. Women don't eat properly. Okay, a lot of junk food women out there. Okay, your whole hormone thing goes off. You want to eat, you know, pickles and rutabagas. You know what I'm saying? You just want to eat all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, your body's craving things, but you got to listen to what your body's asking for, because it's missing something that baby needs and you need at the same time. So I appreciate the fact that, you know, that nutritional part comes in, and from the doulas and the midwives, how they are making sure that that cross-pollination between the two, you know, works for the parents, the family, the baby, and after. You know, because the postpartum is just as bad as the prenatal. The whole thing is it's a whole operation, I'm telling you. So if you've never done it before, if you don't know enough about it, go to their website, South Jersey Doulas, Community Doulas of South Jersey.com. Go on the website, you know, look at what they're talking about. Go to Virtual's website, virtual.org. Look at what they're talking about when it comes down to this. It is one of the most important things that we should know right now, which is why children are dying, why Black children are dying unproportionately. What is going on that is not going on across the board? And what can we do to help stop it? And what things that has already happened is the doulas of South Jersey, community doulas of South Jersey, and the virtual team of midwives are now working on, we can stop this if we try. So I appreciate this. Anything else, Ransha?
I think I'll add, I'll be quick with this because I know we got other folks on. Thank PBCIP for making this important. Is that when we first started this pilot program, our services were offered as a scholarship. Like we were offering women free services. Like I said, the word free with the scholarship services, where they didn't have to pay for anything because the grant that covered the pilot program paid our doulas, so they were able to receive payment from the grant. We're no longer in a pilot program, so now we're offering our services, and we're offering it in a way that we can work with our community, because we know that our community does not quite understand what a doula is and may not understand the benefits of having a doula. However, what's important to say is that while we were in this pilot program, we were at the table with Medicaid, and we were able to win legislation to get Medicaid passed to be able to cover doula services. So if our families are now with Medicaid and they want to get a doula, Medicaid pays for that. You don't have to come out of pocket. These are things that we've been working out. So pilot program was here. Then we were at the table with Medicaid. Now Medicaid is taking over and doing that part. And there's other things that we can talk about on this website that I put up here. Go on there if you know a person that's pregnant, even to our teenagers, we do workshops. We come into
Yeah.
communities and we talk about that. We go to healthcare events. We set up tables. We do all things we can to inform the community about what a doula is and what a doula is not, but most important for healthy birth outcomes. So if you're looking for to bring us in to talk about the work that we do, to do a quick webinar or workshop or be a guest to talk about these things, we're here for that because we still have teenage pregnancy. We still have women who are not being able to get to the hospital or birthing alone. We have a lot of things
Right.
wrong, and our job as doulas is to be a responder to how can we support for better outcomes. So we want to work with our midwives. We want to have better relationships with all of our hospitals. Virtual, I can say, is one of the best relationships that we have. I can't speak
Yeah.
for this hospital, but I can
Yeah.
speak for virtual. We have one of the best relationships with virtual and Lord's before it became virtual. We had a good relationship with that. We're working with other hospitals now to be able to create strong relationships. But we want you to know that we don't want to be pushed out. Those are not here to make anybody's work life uncomfortable or to push somebody out of the room. Our job is to be respected as part of the care team, and we also are responders to what was needed. We are essential workers too. We do the work
Yeah.
also. So that's all I have.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, as usual, so much for both of you. Ariel, I'm just going to do this little plug. So I just Saturday was in North Camden, and there was a play put on. The play was put on by Samir Nichols. It was called Town Hall Resolution 50. It was about environmental injustice, where it's like an environmental racism, okay, where in certain areas of color, you know, there are lacking things that are needed in order for you to have a better quality of life, such as trees and waterways and parks and things of that nature. So there was a video that was made somewhat after that, and I got a chance to watch it. And in watching it, there was a little girl who was playing the younger role of one of the teenagers that was in the play. It was 4 teenagers from 4 different high schools who were first-time actors. It was phenomenal. I can't wait for everyone to see it. But the little girl that played April just happened to be Ariel's daughter, who was running through the park and playing on the swings. And I thought it was so amazing because I looked at her and I've known her since she was born. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, why do I already know that little girl? And come to find out that it was her daughter. So Amma is running around doing her thing like she normally is, growing up tall and everything. And it was just such an amazing thing. But the circle of life is just so tight. It's so great that we can, you know, be in so many different places at one time, you know, even if it's at various time periods. And, you know, when you're looking at life from that perspective, that's what life is about. You know, from the time that you get that news that you're going to have a baby, you know, that connection has happened, and then the child is born, and then the child comes out, and that's when the work really starts. You know, the feedings and the changings and the, you know, what are they allergic to? What foods are they going to eat? What foods can't they eat? How are you going to wash them? You know, do you wash them? What do you do? It's so much to this, you know, everything is a brand new experience. We appreciate the fact that, you know, women like yourself, Karen, Lauren, you know, Ransha and Ariel, you know, and the rest of the doulas that are on, you know, that are interested in, that have found interest in the fact that spreading this knowledge will help generations yet to come. We're in the technical age. Once upon a time, there was no such thing as doulas in the technical age. Okay, imagine that. So, you know, no midwives in the technical. Imagine midwives in the 19th century, the 18th century. These women are screaming their bloody heads off. Okay, they're screaming like crazy because, you know, you're trying to get a rock through something this big. You know what I mean? It's just not working. But we thank you. We thank you. We thank you so much for the information. We are going to spread the word. This is going to become stronger than it has been because it has to. You know, children should not die at birth. They shouldn't. Neither should mothers. It shouldn't happen. It's enough going on with the COVID. It's enough. So we have other things that we can do. So as I segue in, I want to just say thank you again. We are looking at the fact that we are coming to the end of October. And in the end of October, during the whole month of October, it's the pink month. As you can see, I'm wearing my little pen. This is, you know, breast cancer awareness month. Now, I know COVID's out there and it's been out there and it's going to be out there, but I'm going to tell you like this. So has breast cancer. So If you haven't gotten an exam, if you don't examine yourself, okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you to do it any other way that you would not feel as though it's best for you. I've been doing self-exams all my life. From the time that these things came into my body, I've been doing breast exams, okay? Because you have to. It's a get in the water, put the soap on, examine. You feel anything don't feel right, get to the doctor immediately. There's no waiting, there's no question, there's no nothing. So self-breast exams are very important, but so are mammograms. And if you're at a certain age where, you've had children and there's breast cancer in your family and things of that nature, there's a possibility that breast cancer could run in your family. Get an exam. It is not a hard thing to do. It is not the end of the world. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. It was okay. But I'm just saying, it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Just like they told us last year, you can have Thanksgiving with your family if you want to, but if you come back next year and half of them is not there because you had COVID, then okay. So that's the way we have to look at things. It's better to be safe than sorry in all things that you do. Segueing completely on into our next presenter. I am totally excited about this next presenter. Due to the fact that I met Center for Family Services like in 2018. Let me go back. 2016, maybe. Yep, 2016. And I didn't know all of what they did. I didn't know all of what they do. I didn't know anything. And then I met this young man who was telling me about human trafficking. And Center for Family Service became the center of attention of my life because they were talking to me about something that I didn't know enough about and that I didn't like at the same time, that I felt as though it was the worst thing that you could do to a human. But started a relationship then, and then it kind of like, went off. They were always there. I can always see them, but they were not right there. And then Janice phone, she showed up out of nowhere. And I was like, God loves me apparently, because he just sent this woman to me and we just started talking and everything just happened and everything just like, and here I now have from the Center of Family Services, Ms. Janice Vole. She's the community outreach for the Camden Promise neighborhood. And she's going to explain to you what the Camden Promise neighborhood consists of, et cetera, as well as for the Center of Family Services, and give you a little tidbit on the back end. I'm gonna give her maybe a couple of more minutes over regular time to talk about fatherhood, because she was going to talk about that and parenting. So we're segueing from midwife and doulas and birthing, and now these babies are here. Now what? Now it's time for a whole nother conversation, like what does it take to be a parent, fatherhood, what you have to go through and everything. So ladies and gentlemen of my audience all over, I'm presenting to you Center for Family Services Outreach Coordinator, Miss Janice Vole. Hi.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. I am. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm appreciative of this space, appreciative of what it is that's happening through PBCIP in Parkside. I've watched from the sidelines and it's been fantastic. And I love history, random side note. And so one time I chatted with you for almost 2.5 hours pre-pandemic inside of the Historical Society Center. And it was just like, thebomb.com. So thank you. But I am here, yes, to talk on behalf of Center for Family Services. And many people may have heard our organization's name quite often and quite frequently, but they may not have a really good understanding of what it is that we do. We have a lot of different programs. So we've been around for over 100 years. We have 80 different programs. They range from counseling to finding people housing, to helping through our Head Start program that we have now, which has expanded into Burlington County. We also assist, as you said, with human trafficking. We help with mental health and a lot of different resources that families may need. The one interesting thing that I heard that the doulas were speaking is about this continuum of care. They're there as soon as you find out you're pregnant, throughout your entire pregnancy, and once you give birth. And the Camden Promise neighborhood is this new initiative through Center for Family Services, which focuses on that aspect. So we recognize that help is not just a one-step thing. You come for services, but then there is help along the way and additional things that you may need for you and your family. And so we're assisting with that process. So through Center for Family Services, our Camden Promise Neighborhood initiative, we've been around right now we're going into our 5th year of what we've been doing. And it's based upon a model started in New York called the Harlem Children's Zone. It was started by a man named Jeffrey Canada. And he had this idea that if you can saturate a particular section of the neighborhood with services, they can better the outcome of families and students who live in that neighborhood. So we work alongside certain specific neighborhoods inside of Camden, downtown, Whitman Park, Centerville, South Camden, as a way to really partner with those residents to hear them better and partner alongside them. You know, oftentimes I think that we can find ourselves in a wheel of saying we're going to do, but we're not listening and partnering. And so the Camden Promise Neighborhood Initiative makes that really big difference of saying, hey, let's put the brakes. You tell us and we work alongside you to make things happen. One of the most recent projects that we've done and collaborated with the community in is the Not in Our Parks initiative. The particular part which we tackled was 7th and Clinton Street Park downtown, and being able to work alongside residents and help to clean up that park. Metro has been fantastic with that effort. Community leaders like the Namdi Nelson, Miss Pamela Grace in Baltimore have been just fantastic with assisting with cleaning up that park. And so I'm trying to focus on one particular area. So let's go ahead and talk about fatherhood. I know that's something that you had brought up. And so I want to make sure that I do hone in on that point because, you know, we were speaking about a lot about like, you know, pregnancy and women, but fathers are also critically important inside the homes. When we looked at data and we looked at, you know, the amount of fathers who may be absent from the home inside the city, one area that we saw that we could be of support in is how can we assist the fathers who are already in the homes and the ones that aren't with gaining and growing a relationship with their children who are already living here. And so our Framing Fatherhood program started at the end of last year. So we're moving on to our first year of completing that program. And the focus of that program is to really help fathers and father figures just be able to be stronger, more supported, and have more access to resources for people that they're working with inside the city. We recognize that it's a tough job, right? We get it. As moms, it's a tough job. So as fathers and father figures, they also need support as well. The Framing Fatherhood program is an 8-week program. And I believe there's classes that happen every week. There's 2 hours of classes that happen throughout this 8-hour period. You get a caseworker who works alongside you. They assist with employment. They assist with any other additional resources that you may need. And they're one-on-one working with you to be able to make sure that you have everything that you need throughout that program. There's also an incentive for those who do complete the program. So right now it's a $200 gift card that's able to be used anywhere that you would like to use that gift card if you do complete the 8 weeks. But again, the main focus of that fatherhood initiative is to make sure that we support, work alongside, and really help build up fathers and father figures inside the city. That program is completely free of charge to join. And for more information on that, you can log right onto our center, ffs.org website. And we have a link that says Framing Fatherhood right on the top for that program. Also, too, one thing that we've had the pleasure of working with is alongside the school district. We actually have staff who are located inside of Camden High, inside of Forest Hill, and Morgan Village to be able to help with students and additional resources that they may need. So we work along the school-based youth services within the schools to be able to provide them with any additional academic and emotional support that students within the building may need. So that's something that we've been able to work and specifically do as of late. There's a lot of different things, again, that we do through our Camden Promise Neighborhood Initiative. Again, primary focus is working with families and students to partner with them and make sure that we help overcome barriers and obstacles that families may face, ranging from food insecurities to, again, housing or employment, making sure, again, that we work alongside you. And one of the things that I think mirrors kind of what it is that, you know, Rancha was speaking about, and some of the other women earlier were speaking about, is this sense of advocacy, right? So we want to really help families learn to advocate, teach them how to advocate, be stronger alongside them, to really show them the avenues that they should take and how to properly advocate for themselves and their families, to allow families within the city to know they're not voiceless. They do have voices and that there's proper channels to use those voices. So how do we channel that in a way that they do become heard and action takes place? That is kind of what it is that Camden Promise Neighborhood does in a nutshell. Again, it's a lot more, but I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. But if there are any specific questions more about what Center for Family Services does as a whole, Camden Promise Neighborhood or our Fatherhood Initiative, I'm available to answer questions. I'd love to hear any questions or comments that you would have about any of our initiatives.
So, as I said, now you can see why I'm excited. Because when you bring that kind of, you know, energy and you bring that kind of information at the same time, you know, what can you say? I mean, that's when you call, you know, that's a home run, touchdown. We're in touchdown zone right now. So that's a touchdown. Okay. So yay. But with that being said, there's questions I know that's out there in the world, and I know that people would like to know, about the programs. And because of the fact that it is an organization that's been out there for a while, it can't be any specific questions per se. So it's best sometimes to just go to the website. Well, look at the website, go to centerforfamilyservices.org, look at the website, just like all the rest of the websites. And then that way you can get a general understanding of the information. And if there's something that you want to specifically ask Janice, you can actually, inbox her there or email her there, and then let her know what it is that you would like to know about, the Center for Family Services based on what she does. And she had put her email address up there, janice.roll@centerforfamilyservices.org. So if there's anybody who has a question, raise your hand in the chat so I can see if there's anybody that wants to just chat a little bit about it. Because there's a lot of things that they offer, and the fatherhood thing, I mean, you know what? Sometimes you plan things and things work out well. And then some things you don't plan and they work out even better. And this is one of those things that was like in between for me. So I was going from midwives to doulas. And when I got the Center for Family Services and had fatherhood, I said, wow, this is just crazy. And it all ties in together as, what the family household goes through. Okay, the family household consists of every generation in some houses. You have from infants all the way to, seniors. And everybody is going through something within their households, So I don't see any hands raised. Janice, thank you so much for this.
Thank
if there's
you.
anything else you want to add, hold on. Oh, there she is. Rashidi.
I just got a comment. Janice, it's so nice to meet you. I'm just so excited to hear about some of the work that Center for Family Services is doing. I do want to talk. We're working on an initiative. It's funny because the Camden County Police is on. We're doing a safety initiative and it's linked to child trafficking. So we're doing an initiative. I wanted to get a stat. In 2020, 70,000 Black girls went missing, completely missing across the country. And then in that missing person, with Black women combined, is 96,000 Black women and Black girls have been missing since 2020. Like 2020, that year, women went missing. And we make up 35 or 30% of the missing people in a country. So with the human trafficking piece, I wanted to connect with you, and we're already connecting with the police department on talking about we're going to do a safety campaign. We know that Mischief Night is coming up, Halloween's coming up, our children are on the streets. We got to do something a little better and stronger to kind of make more presence in the community. But I wanted to have some time to talk to you about, we're doing this whistle campaign. So when children are on the streets, if you hear a whistle being blown, children feel unsafe, we're responding because when that whistle represents something's not correct for our children. But I wanted to sit down and talk to you more about that. Again,
absolutely.
We wear many different hats. So yeah, I just wanted to I say that to you and offer that.
Oh, definitely. And I'm more than willing to feel free, absolutely send me an email, because I actually do work alongside the Safe Quarters piece through our grant as well. And so definitely want to be able to work alongside you in regards to the safety piece as well. So I know you do a lot within the school. I see you on Facebook all the time, Raja. But in regards to the school, we actually were having an issue in front of the Wiggins School at one of the shuttle stops where there wasn't supervision morning and night. And so really being able to bring in some current members of the school board and address this issue with them. They now have staff who are waiting with students before and after. So any way that we can build upon safety and helping to make sure neighbors and children are both on the same page, 1000% willing to support.
And real conversation, that's what triggered this whole safety thing, was Wiggins School site.
Wow.
As the community connects, we're connected. I got it. Okay. So we'll connect. Thank you for the moment.
Thank you.
Just like I told you, you don't plan it. It just comes together. When it's right, the universe knows what to do. It's just like when you look up in the sky, you don't decide what stars are going to be there. They just show up. So that's basically the way it happens for all of us down here. And I appreciate that. So team up, ladies, do what you have to do. I got to give a shout out to my CCPD because I see them on here. I see Kevin Wilkes. I see Officer Baker. I see you guys on here. And I thank you so much for always being here. Tonight is not the night that I need you to talk. So I'm giving y'all a break. I'll bring y'all back maybe in November for that piece. But we do have a couple of announcements, a couple of PSAs that we'd like to share with you. We have a Dare to Scare that's coming up on Saturday, 10:30 and 10:31 from 7 to 11 p.m. at 1656 Kane Avenue. That's at the Dare Academy. That is being sponsored by Adolescent Achievers. CCPD will be there. They have told us that they were going to be there. Oh, Sergeant Webb. Okay, how are you? See you too. So they're going to be there. And if you have, children, I think between the ages of, say about 5th grade and up, this would be a good thing for them to do. They've got a haunted house thing going on. I mean, I'm looking at the flyer. The flyer is super scary. I don't know if you can see this, but the flyer is like, wait, let me turn it this way. Well, you can't see it too much, but the flyer is super scary. I wouldn't go if it were me, because of the fact that it's just super scary. Their sponsors are Mario's Pizza, Parkside Business and Community and Partnership, Bell Pharmacy, the Latin Connection, Donkey's Place, the Camden Store, Dare Academy, Big Picture Learning, Blowing Smoke, the City of Camden, I think Miss Corinne's, and let me see, a time for fun and more. And there's one that's got an L here that I can't make out, and I apologize for that one. But they're all the sponsors of it. And it's going to be a thing, the Adolescent Achievers does this every year. Latina Gaines is the CEO of Adolescent Achievers, and she does this every year for the students because they don't have any other outlets. There's no thing. This has stopped them from doing anything, wrong. And I really applaud her efforts and everyone that works with her and everyone that's working with her to, make this thing work for the children. As we're going into like our last 10 minutes of time, I did want to just point out a couple of things that we couldn't get speakers on tonight, and I'll just have a little conversation to you about it since we're talking about breast cancer awareness and health in general. Two things. One of them I'm going to be short and to the point about is dental awareness. Okay. People take it for granted. You know what I mean? You may have had, situations in your life where you're going to a dentist and it was a bad experience and you never went back. But dentistry is the gateway to the soul and to the body, and for everything, for the digestive system and everything that goes along with everything that goes on inside your body. If you do not go to a dentist to get your teeth, cleaned and to get, things, believe it or not, the plaque that's building up between your teeth can actually go into your body and into your arteries and into a little place where they can all coagulate together and block the blood flow that could cause you to have high blood pressure, even up to a stroke. It's that simple. So, for a little bit of pain or a little bit of being uncomfortable, it's better for you to take that and go through that than to go through something later on and you end up in a hospital for reasons that you would never understand. So that's very, very, very important that you do that. I would go to any dental site that's out there, to dentist.com, or go to any major dental facility that they talk about through one of the colleges or anything like that, to get a better understanding of today's dentistry. Today's dentistry is not like yesterday's dentistry. I mean, they now take your teeth out with a laser instead of sometimes using the actual pulling thing out. So that's a lot for us to know now in comparison to whatever. It's very important that you take your grandparents and your elderly to the dentist to make sure that they're okay, because a lot of times, whatever it is that is wrong with them could be just from the fact that their mouth is not healthy, and they need to have a healthy mouth in order for them to have a healthy system. I mean, if the food went through your eyes, we'd be talking about your eyes, but it goes through your mouth, down your esophagus, into your stomach, and through your intestines. And you've heard a lot about this gut health. Everybody's talking about it. Well, if your gut is messed up, which is your intestines, your stomach area and all that, if it's all messed up, then the rest of it's going to be messed up. So you got to take care of the whole entire system. It's a whole system, okay? Because at the end of the day, you want to be the healthiest person you can be. And that's the most important part of growing older. I know as I am walking past 65 now and going into my next chapter of whatever I'm getting ready to go into, I'm starting to be more aware of just seeing that I am now also a caregiver of my parents. And it's kind of hard when you don't know enough to know what to do. So I brought the dentistry part in there because that's the most important part, and that's an easier part for me to tell you about. But the last part I want to talk to you about is caregiving. And caregiving goes in this hand and in this hand. Caregiving is to the persons that you are giving care to, and caregiving is to yourself as well. And caregiving, I found this book a while ago. It's called How to Care for Aging Parents. Let me tell you how this happened. So I'm in a store that has nothing to do with books. It's like a thrift store, kind of, sort of. I'm going to say it was a Habitat for Humanity. And I'm walking through, and I just happened to turn my head and read the title of this. Had no idea what it was about. It was either free or cost me $1, whichever one. I opened up this book, and this book was written back in 1996. That's how far back it goes. And it is written by a woman by the name of Virginia Morris. And I do have an ISBN number on here just in case you wanted to get it through Amazon or something, if it's still available. The ISBN number is 1-56305-435-3. And it's printed in the United States. As you can see, all of these little things in here, this is the reading that I've been doing so far. And I want to tell you, the first thing that I had to really say to you without reading this whole thing is that caring for the caregiver is the most important part of caregiving. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of the other person. And it says setting limits, dealing with guilt, anger, and grief, and achieving a healthy mindset. And those are some of the most important parts of being a caregiver, because if you go in and you're messed up, you can't really pay attention to the person that you're giving care to. And you really need to be able to see some of the things that may be going on in the person who you're giving care to. Like they may be going through something as simple as, and I'm just reading things at random to you guys to let you know just how intense this book is. It says that when you're going for, wait, I just had it, hold on 1 second. Okay. Going to the doctors, okay, the do's and don'ts of going to the doctors, and how you may perceive a doctor to be good. First of all, if you're taking a person that's 50 years old and over to the doctors, they should be going to a gerontologist. A gerontologist is a person who has studied the aging process. They're studying people from the time they start to age all the way until it's time for them to pass. And that's a whole different than a general practitioner that's just there for basic coverages. So taking them to a gerontologist and finding a gerontologist, you can Google it online, look up, the National Association for Gerontology, and see whether or not you can find like more help that will send you to a gerontologist that may be in your immediate area, especially here in New Jersey, Camden area. The other thing is making sure that at the time that you are watching your students, your care person go through their changes as they're growing older, memory starts to fade. That's one of the first signs. But you need to look at other things like hearing loss. Like if they're saying what all the time, you're saying, mom, such and such, and she's like, what? Huh? If you get that a lot, get her ears examined. If she can't see the TV well, get her eyes examined. Vitamins are very important at this time. Even going back to what the doulas were talking about and Ariel Streeter being a nutritionalist, it's very important that you give them the right type of supplements in their diet, because their diet changes. They don't eat as much as they used to. It's very important that you listen to what it is that they have to say and see whether or not they're being repetitive in the words that they're saying, because it could be a sign of dementia or Alzheimer's. And if Alzheimer's is already in the family, look for it even more so because it's already in the family. And that's very important to the doctors to know this. When you take your person to the doctors, you definitely don't want to be the spokesperson for your person. The doctor is there to listen to your person, to hear what it is that they're saying in the conversation that's between him and the doctor, or she and the doctor. So when you take them there, be in the room with them, be present, but be quiet, let them speak. Let them always speak, because the more they use their mind, the better it is for them. Be on the lookout for symptoms, like I said, vision loss, hearing loss, insomnia, where complaints of fatigue or long periods spent in bed, frequent naps, wandering at night, over medication, a cabinet filled with current prescriptions from multiple physicians, confusion, drowsiness, and agitation, alcohol abuse, okay, flushed face, confusion, instability, and irritability, hypothermia, sweating, dizziness, hyperthermia. There's two different ones here. Sweating, dizziness, nausea, or in severe cases, hot, dry skin, rapid pulse, and confusion. Hypothermia, lethargic, confusion, paleness, shallow breathing, even in normal temperatures. Skin problems, unusual looking moles, itchy, cracked, red, irritated skin, and mouth ailments such as pain, dry mouth, difficulty swallowing or chewing, drinking a lot of water, signs of diabetes. There's so many different things to look out for, and we are not trained for this. We were raised by our parents or our grandparents or our aunts and uncles or whoever it is that may have been the person that was your guidance. That person is now older. They are not the person that they were when you met them. So whatever it is that they're changing into is the thing that you have to really like have patience with, learn how to understand what's going on, even if you don't understand what it is that you're doing. Thank God we're in technology. I call myself one of the sandwich children because I am in between my parents that's on this end and my children that's on that end, and right underneath of them are their children. So between grandmother, great grandmother, mother, and daughter, you know, I'm in a very peculiar caregiving place, and a lot of other people are there right there with me. So you're not alone. They have, I wrote it down so I can remember, caregiving.com. Very simple, caregiving.com. This is a full support team that will help you when it comes down to the caregiving aspect. I just saw a video of Babyface, the R&B singer. I know you guys know him. Oh, I'm never telling secrets. I'm never telling lies. I want to make it up to you. That guy. Okay. He did a video on caregiving for his mother who has Alzheimer's. And for us that have parents who are suffering and struggling through the Alzheimer's part of it, that's the hardest thing that you will ever in your life go through. For your parent not to really remember who you are, the one that gave birth to you, especially in your mother's case, the father that raised you, don't remember who you are, calling you young lady or young man, trying to be polite, and sometimes being agitated because they cannot remember who you are. It's very, very difficult to go through that part of it. But even then, you do not give up. You continue to care for them. There are going to be smells and things that's in the house that you have to be aware of. There are going to be things that's going to go around that you don't want to see and things that you don't want to be bothered with. But just remember, if you're an only child, okay, that was okay. But if you're in a crew of 1 through 7 or 10, remember that one woman took care of you and them, and it's just your job to just do the same thing in return. That's all it is. We're getting close to our end now. I just wanted to make sure that I pointed this out here. Caregiving.com is one of the most important things that I can actually tell you to go and look that up if you are a caregiver. And I'm going to talk about this more in months to come because I've learned so much about being a caregiver. And I've learned that it is not, just the quality of care you give, but the quality of care you give to yourself. And when you give that kind of care to yourself, it helps you to be a better person. I also wanted to just make sure before we leave, I have 2 more PSAs to give you before we go. If you did not see it, please visit our website. We were visited by the Lieutenant Governor, Sheila Oliver, who came to do a presentation from the Department of Community Affairs, which she actually oversees. And she came to us with American Water to give us a very sizable check that's going to help us do things in the community and help us to do things, wherever we can. And that's one of the things that PBCIP does. We're learning how to be more, I guess you could say, aesthetic in, the visiting of other places and doing other things with other people. So just wanted you to know that that did happen on Monday, the 25th. Also, PSE&G is installing the connecting gas lines that connect to the main line that's in the street that they did over in, I'd say like late August, like in the summer. They put the gas lines in, dug all of the trenches all along the roadways that's in Parkside. Well, now they have to connect from that trench to your house. So they have to put gas lines in the house, and they're putting meters. They're attaching your meter to the outside so that the meter guy can come and read it from the outside instead of having to read it from the inside. And it's also a protection because of the fact that the gas that's coming through will not be so forceful that it could cause anything to explode, which is the last thing we need here in Parkside, Camden, or anywhere else. Know that they will need access to your home. So you have to prepare your home for that. And they have to come in mask, vaccinated or not. You should not care. Make sure they have a mask on when they come in. And also they may have to break the sidewalk or some other part of your house, put a hole in the side of your wall. they've been pretty good on my street so far because I've been walking around and watching everything they do. But they do have to do this installation, and they're trying to get it done, I guess, before the winter sets in. So if you have any questions about it or anything, you can call me at 856-964-0440, extension 13, and just say, hey, I need to talk to somebody about the PSE&G situation with the gas line and what they're doing to my home. Also, we want to make sure that you know that it is election season. Today is the 27th. November 2nd is election day, actually. But did you know that we now have early voting that has started between October 23rd and October 31st? You can go from the hours of 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 129 South Broadway behind the PNC Bank, downtown Camden, to vote. If you want to vote early, you have up until the 31st to do that. After that, you have to vote on November 2nd, and you have to go to your normal place. So if you do not know where that is, you can contact the county, Camden County, to find out where your voting place is. It should be in the school that you did your primary, the last place you voted. I do not believe that we have any mail-in ballots, but if you do have a mail-in ballot, you should get that into the mail-in box. That's downtown on Broadway, right off of Broadway and Market at the Alethea Wright building, which is the Camden County Board of Social Services. It's on the Market Street side. Drop your ballot off there. This is an important election for us. I say this from my own experience, and I say this from my own feelings. In the last year, we went through the most horrific time that we have ever experienced in our life thus far. And it was COVID, and we're still going through it. But last year was I don't know anything. We had no help from the White House. The White House lied to us. They told us everything, but what they should have told us, they didn't give us any information to guide us. They didn't lead us in any direction, until it was almost too late and people were dying everywhere. But one thing that happened in New Jersey stood up. New Jersey took a hold from our county officials, from, all the way up to our governor. And even then, they figured out ways that made things better for us than they were before. So I'm telling you, be mindful of who you are about to pull that lever for. Because if the guy wasn't there in 2020 to get you through COVID, who's to say what he's going to be doing now? The governor that we had was there. We know that he did his job, and he did his job well. And I applaud him for what he did. This is not me telling you who to vote for. This is me telling you that your conscience is yours and you should use it wisely. And look at all the rest of our leaders that are here, that are trying to do their best and change the fabric of Camden and Camden City and what it is that we have gone through and what we're going through. So what we are now trying to do is stand up and be empowered on our own, become a whole new people in this city. And through the support of Camden County Police Department for the safety of our city, from the Department of Public Works for the cleanliness of our city, under the direction of the Director Keith Walker, under the direction of the Mayor, Vic Karstafen, under the guidance of Councilman Chris Collins and Commissioner Al Dyer and Commissioner Jonathan Young. These are the people that are there for us all the time. It's just not about my vote. It's about the fact that they know what to do and they listen to what it is that we're asking for. So I applaud you for going out to vote. Please invite family and friends to do the same. Make sure that we show up the same way we did when we voted in November of last year to remove the problem we had. Know that the power is in the vote. Know that the power is in the people. And we are the people with the vote. Kiana, I see you. I thank you because you're always there. You're so cool. I know that you do things and everything. I'm hollering out and shouting out people. Miss Naomi, I'm coming to get a shirt. Miss Shirley, how you doing? I'm so glad to see you. And my girl Tia Rogers, she's got her own business. You guys need to, you need to hook up with her. She's got a little bit of everything. And my neighbor, former fireman Rodney Carter, he's on tonight. I'm surprised, but I'm so glad to see him. Roxanne, thank you so much for showing. Thank you for being here. I did get your message about the church and the trash. Keith will get that, so we'll take care of that. Also, I have Officer Webb. I didn't know he was on here, but I did say my shout outs to him. And again, I want to thank all of my guests that came through tonight. I want to thank Lauren Oakes from Virtua and Karen McAvoy Shields, Ransha Dickerson for Community Doulas of South Jersey with Ariel Streeter, Janice Roll for Center for Family Services, Community Outreach in Camden Promise Neighborhood, Commissioner Al Dyer, who's commissioner and also the acting principal currently for the Camden High School campus, as well as for our own second board councilman, Chris Collins. I also want to thank everyone else that was online tonight, and for everyone that comes and gives their best to what it is they have to do to make the quality of life for all people available. Quality of life should not go with just one person alone. If all of us can live well, we can all do better. So I thank you all for being here with me. I ask you to be safe, vaccinated or not, wear your mask, wash your hands, wash your face, social distance, stay alive. Miss Shirley, it's so good to see you. It is so
good to see you, honey.
That's my mentor. Nobody knows it. I'm telling everybody in the world, that is my mentor. I am part of the reason why I am the way today, because of that lady right there. So I just want to thank you all for everything. And I see you in November. We're 2 weeks away. Our next meeting is November oh, goodness gracious. I was supposed to tell you that. It's 2 weeks from this Wednesday. So let me get my calendar up real quick and I'll tell you really quick. It is November the 10th. That's our next meeting. So we will be bringing our partners on our next meeting. We will be bringing HopeWorks, the Camden County Historical Society, the New Jersey Conservation Foundation, and LAIDA. That is our partners with PBCIP. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to talk to you about what they're doing and what they have and everything else. And we may have a couple of little guests, to add in there. So we'll make it kind of juicy. And then for the members, in December is our members meeting. Our members meeting, which will run in December. It'll be on December 8th. Everything is from 6 to... Is that Mr. Waverly? Hey, Mr. Waverly. So you were going to have our members meeting. It's going to be virtual again this year. And we're going to have DJ C on there, the Cool C on there playing music for us and everything. So we're going to have a good time. I'm not going to give you all the juicy. I'll wait for y'all to get around to the next meeting and then I'll tell you all the juice. But again, thank you everyone for being on tonight. And I look forward to, talking to you soon. Please be safe. If you need me, I'm only a phone call, a text message, or an email away. So please be safe. Do the things that you need to do and make sure that everything in your life is good. Keep the most high, keep yourself low, and keep it moving. Janice, thank you again. Thank you so much, sweetie. I'm going to talk to you soon, okay? All right. Good night, everyone. Be safe.